I've had many teachers along my 18 years of school. All of them really different from each other. I remember a teacher that would make us celebrate with him each time his favorite football team won a match. Of course, with a touch of Queen.
So students, my team won! Let's celebrate! Yeah!
I also remember one of my gym teacher giving us classes with her very own personal tough love style.
You're only allowed to stop if you're in menstrual pain. Are those menstrual cramps? No? Then keep going! Keep going! Going!
History class.
Portuguese King John V was also known for his whining. Due to being constantly in lack of budget when he wanted to purchase high-end items. And
Oh, and the natural science teacher, you know, with her scientific approach.
Miguel, let go of your mammary glands now. We are in class. Please.
Aside from all the fun things we got from our teachers, we can recognize that they shaped who we are now. The ones who did it well and were conscious of the importance of the role they play in the development of other human beings, like they did with us, are the real educators. They inspire us and really promote an enlightening experience, as they are really good at exploring our curiosity to draw out our unique talents and skills. You know, my grandfather was a teacher, and one of the things that made him smile was to receive mail from his students sharing how much he contributed for them to be the people they are today and how much they've achieved because of that. I decided to do the same and surprise my primary school teacher with a handwritten letter. Finding her address was easier than I thought. I asked my old classmates on social media, and a couple of hours later I got the address. You know what's really interesting is that you have no idea how much certain people influenced your life until you grow and expand your vision and actually realize that a lot of the influence, a lot of the ideas, the conceptions, the way you see the world was influenced by other people's vision of the world, not just by what they were saying to you, but how they were acting and how they were relating to you and inspiring you to grow. In all her letter, she was pointing out that I also have written an essay explaining what I wanted to be when I grow up, and she doesn't remember what were the professions that I wanted to do or to have, but she knew that I was explaining that I was going to feel well if I was doing multiple things. And that I was very versatile. That was one of my characteristics, and she asked me if it's still like that, and it's like, I think it's the biggest characteristic that I have. I really rely on diversity. I cannot do a certain thing, a certain task for too long. I need variety. That's why I also love multicultural environments, because you have so much going on. You can see so many spectrums of life's people, nothing is the same, everything is different, and I think that's in the difference that lies the beauty in life. So it's very interesting that she's pointing that out, and it's one of my struggles actually, because I love so many things. I love to know a little bit of each. I want to do a little bit of each, that it's kind of hard to focus only one thing and focus all my energy into one thing so that it actually manifests. And it's something that I've been struggling with, and that I'm working on. This challenge is one of the things that I'm doing concerning to that, to keep up with something for a certain period of time, even if it starts to hurt and starts to be difficult for me, because I know that I need to at least finish something, finish what I start, and that's really important. So, and establishing goals, it's helpful in that way, because it gives you a direction, it gives you a finishing line, and it's not just doing something just because. You have a purpose, you have a deadline. And for me, I realized that because I'm so all over the place in a lot of things, it's important to know why I'm doing things, to have a purpose in life, and to really figure out where am I going towards. Even if I don't know how I get there, that's the fun part, I would say, because I'm open to receive that kind of stuff and go along with whatever pops up. And what else was interesting is that she's mentioning Waldorf's pedagogy. I don't know if that's the way you say it in English, but how you teach kids, the method that you use to teach kids, based on the philosophy of Rudolf Steiner. I've heard of this before, and it's a sort of school that I've recommended a lot to a lot of my friends that have kids or that are having little kids, and they will start to think where they're going to put them in school, because as you know, today's educational system it doesn't make sense. It was created to work a few decades ago, but nowadays it's not compatible with the lifestyle, with the challenges, everything. So it's like we're using a system that worked back then, but it's not applicable nowadays. So it's like we're pushing against the current, we're forcing it. And that's why a lot of the students are so stressed and so confused with what they want to do with life, because the system is not following up with our way of learning and unlearning, because nowadays it's more important to know how to unlearn things and be open to start something from scratch than to actually keep on focusing on developing a certain skill at an intense way, which was something that happened before in our parents' generation. And it's incredible because these philosophies that are being applied in certain schools, they simply promote a way of learning that's more organic. So it's like you're not just putting information in, you're discovering the information within you, as I've explained before in this video. So and that's what education is all about. We know everything, we just need to bring it out and know how to work with what we have already, and that's how you develop your skills. And it's funny that she says that in the 90s she attended a course on this pedagogy, and she was really delighted with the principle and the value that it was giving in the development of the students' spirituality. And that's so interesting. I had no idea that because I can only tell you that I love the way she was a teacher. I don't know what she did. I was too young to actually fully comprehend what was behind what she's doing, but I really loved it, and it all felt so natural and organic. And I was like, I want to be like that, not in what she did, but in the easiness that she was doing it. She was, in a way, she was going with the flow, and everything we really felt supported. I felt that the environment in class was always very secure and really supported each one's individuality, and that's amazing to accomplish, especially if you're really young and if you're starting to realize what's your place in this world, not in terms of your profession, but your identity, because you're starting to realize that you're not just you with your parents. There's your parents and there's you, and then you start to have a route to develop. Even if you're just like 6 or 7 years old, you start to realize this, and you start to look for your place. And she was saying that she actually studied this, and now a lot of things make sense. And she says that I think like a week ago, she went to a conference about this topic that I was really thinking about going, but then I'm so overwhelmed with work that I postponed it. And she went with another teacher of mine that taught me English, and this teacher was also amazing because she taught us English in the garden, and because she's also botanic, yeah, I think that's the name, the botanic. She works with plants, and it was so interesting because everything was really natural, and you're not always in a class environment, and now it all makes so much sense. I was really, really lucky in terms of the path that I got, the educational path. Even within the system, I was blessed from many, many, many circumstances that I can only recognize now that I look back. It's incredible. I was really, really lucky with, I would say, 90% of my teachers, because each one of them performed a really important role, and you only know that afterwards, when you see how they enlighten certain sparks in you, or how they created the right circumstances for you to grow, to evolve, to explore something that excited you for whatever reason. This is so cool. Imagine if I went to this, I would have met them even after I've written the letter. Yeah, and she thanks for all the compliments that I made her, and that she feels the same way that my grandpa did when he was meeting old students and getting to know what's happened to them. And that's it. She just wished me well and says it again that this the letter I wrote her gave her an immense joy to read, and that's so cool. This was a really good gift right now, especially because this challenge is taking a toll on me. So embrace yourself, Katarina. There are a few more videos to go, and thank you again, my teacher. We'll keep in touch. When was the last time you sent a handwritten letter to someone you admire? What role did that person play in shaping who you are and your life today? Maybe now it would be a good time to do that. Keep creating your happiness today. Hit the subscribe button right now to be the first one to get access to the next video. Hit the subscribe button right now to be the first one to get access to the next video.